Hey guys, welcome back on my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're gonna discuss about the best, the best epic heroes in the game. I'll tell you who you should or should not build so far from what we know in the game. Now, the problem is obviously when it comes to epic heroes, we are still a little bit limited because obviously it's not like we can build all of the epic heroes, test them. It's really not. It's really not impossible, to be quite honest. You would need so much food to do that. So I'll tell you so far which heroes I saw that were being used and which heroes have the potential basically to being used, because some of the heroes really are just crap and complete food. So let's start with the Dragon Tribe. The only hero that is worth keeping is Wim. His shields on his ultimates are very, very strong. However, the problem with the shields are when you are running heroes like, for example, Melia or Walter, you don't really want shields because you want to get hit. For example, if you take Melia, which is also here, for her, in order to basically put the HP burn, she needs a direct damage. If you have a shield, you won't have a direct damage, so you won't put the HP burn on your enemy. Same for Walter, or same for any hero that has a passive that when he gets hit, he will put a debuff on the enemy. So Wim is very good. However, if you, for example, in a team when you run like Walter or stuff like that, not Walter, Holder, he's really okay. But really late game, I don't feel like it's enough. I wouldn't say end game. I would not put Wim to A5, but at the very beginning, if you don't have mages or lists, he can help you as a support and to basically survive. Any other hero here so far, I don't think it's worth. I didn't see ever anyone building those heroes. They are very specific and I don't know, it just doesn't feel... It feels like a waste of resources to build them. Naya is the only one that, she puts the defense down, but there are just other heroes that also do it and are better. And so far, I didn't see any content that requires you to have defense down, to be quite honest. So, yeah, Wim is the only one from the Dragon Tribe that I would even consider keeping. Everything else is easily food for your other heroes. The next one here, we have him. So Oboro is a good damage dealer. However, Holder is 100% better than him. So Oboro, if you really don't have anything else, you can build him. But again, in terms of pure damage dealers like Oboro, because obviously all he does is damage, he has a passive that he might apply bleed, but it's literally what? It's only 40% if you skill him up fully, and it's really not reliable because even a really late game the bosses have effect resistance, so you will need effect hit, and it's just not worth it since you really need to build him on crit. I think he needs to crit to put the bleed, right? Yeah, and so he needs to land a crit, but then he needs enough of effect hit to be able to place the bleed. So I don't know, he doesn't feel like it's enough. Holder is 100% better than him in this scenario. Now, besides that, we also have Christian. Christian is okay for the first 6, 7, 8 chapters, but then when you're gonna start summoning, anything else you're gonna get in terms of legendary or hopefully Holder will be better. So to be quite honest, from this tribe or this race, I didn't see any hero in epics that was ever used or should be used. So for me, all of those heroes are food. In Sunset, the only hero that you might consider is the Faron, but that again, very light game. And why? Because he has the heal block on his A2 and that's it. To be quite honest, his damage is not that good. I already saw someone in the arena having him, but his damage is really, really not there. You will need to invest a lot of him. So to be quite honest, even here, I don't know, for me, they all look like food. They are just not worth it, to be quite honest, especially for PvE. I don't know, for me, this is food as well. Then we go to Forest. Here, the only hero for PvP only, we have Dale. Dale basically will boost the AP for all your heroes. The problem is, after 7 days of playing the game, you're gonna get Space. And if you look at Space, her ultimate, so this hero you're gonna get for free after 7 days, and her ultimate gives 20% AP to everyone and heals on top of that. So I really don't like, if you really need someone for PvP for the early days, you can use her, just put a speed set on her, but I will really not recommend building her. So if we go back to the forest units, I really don't recommend keeping any of those. For example, Stan on the paper looks great because he can put 5 layers of poison, but don't forget that the poison is 100% of your own attack damage. So since he's more like a tanky, or I don't know, like a tank rather than a damage dealer, this poison will never ever do like good high damage. So again, when it comes to epics here, I don't see any epics that will help you straight away or right now. So for me, all of them here I also food. If we go to the Doom Legion, obviously Liz, it's a must-have. She's amazing. She's an amazing healer. She also puts a shield. Her S2, it's also a heal. And on top of that, anytime you're gonna place a debuff on the enemy, she's gonna heal herself. So she works amazingly well with Holder, with Melia, with Walter. Any hero, any of your main hero that puts a debuff, it's amazing because she's gonna heal herself. So she's gonna sustain more, and just gonna heal other heroes rather than herself. Other than that, I don't see any other hero being that good. We have him who also puts a lot of HP burns. No, just burns. Yeah, he puts the burn, but honestly, I mean, I would rather prefer Melia than him, and it's never 100% that he will inflict it. Again, when it comes to heroes that you play because they put debuffs like poison, bleed, burn, HP burn, stuff like that, you need to understand that the damage is coming from your own attack, and on top of that, you need a high effect hit to be able to place those effects. If not, they will just resist and you won't be putting those debuffs on them. So when it comes to heroes that at the same time need damage and effect hit, it's just really hard to build them, and I don't think we are far enough in the game to be able to do that. So I would really, honestly, besides Liz, I don't think I would recommend any hero right now, and I will just use the other ones as food. If we go to the Holy Light, for me, all the heroes are food. She's the only one that I had a doubt because her damage is really high. And on top of that, she also she deals damage on top of that based on the more HP percentage the target has, the higher damage skill deals. So basically, the more, like, she will be amazing for like bosses, guild. No, I don't know if guild bosses, but like bosses in the dwarf dungeon for sure. So yeah, oral fair damage is based on crit damage. Her passive also makes that her ultimate always crits, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the first Holy Light burst released each wave is guaranteed to cause crit and increase 80% extra crit damage. So I think basically with this skill you're gonna one-shot any enemy in the PvP in the first round, or you're gonna like make a huge hit on the boss. But again, she won't carry you through the game, so maybe keep one copy of her, but then is it really worth it? Me personally, I think that if a hero, it's not something that will help you straight away, especially in this game where basically we are not getting that much summons. You're gonna have to grind the campaign to get food, so any epic hero which is a 4-star, it's just a faster A5 for your main hero. So she is okay. But if you have to choose between her and A5, a hero, I would for sure I will use her as food. But the 3 other ones, I don't think they are worth it for sure. In the Forgotten, for me, they are all food. Eternal Sect. So obviously Holder, the best champion. I mean, the best epic champion and way better than most of the legendaries right now out there. If you have him and you just need one copy of him to get the level 1 of your weapon. Once you have the level 1 of your weapon and you A5 this hero, he'll basically carry you to hell stages, to level 20 any dwarf dungeon on his own. He's so strong, guys, right now. So Holder 100%. He is also a good support unit if you don't have mages or Liz. He also gonna put shields like Wim, a bit not as strong as Wim, but he also put a damage reduction, and he also stuns on his A2. So overall, it's an okay support, but you don't want to play shielders with debuff on hit. So you won't really want to play him with Melia, Walter, yeah, anyone who basically whenever they get hit, they put a debuff. So yeah, Holder, 100%, build him, keep him. The two other ones, Food or potentially him if you really don't have Liz or mages. Then here, the only one... Okay, so here we actually have few heroes that are very good. So first of all, Lester is an amazing hero when it comes to PvP. I know some of you also run him in PvE, but I don't think he will be that good, or he won't carry you through the dungeons. Like if I take my Melia, she can solo any dwarf dungeon. Lester, I really doubt he can solo level 20 any of the dungeons. Now, yes, in PvP he is very, very good, but you should not focus on PvP for the time being. You should for sure try to focus on PvE and finish most of the contents. So basically how it works is that his he gets a quarantine crit for 1 round at the beginning of each wave. So basically you start the fight, the arena fight, any fight, and then he will use his ultimate and he will crit, and the damage is very, very high. You can just put any crit damage set on him and he will make amazing damage. So I would not sacrifice Lester. Actually, I will really keep at least, I think you need only 1 copy of him. Yeah, I think I would keep only 1 copy of him, to be quite honest. Yeah, I think Holder is still way 100% better, but Lester for sure is just behind Holder. However, I would not go as Lester as my main hero. It's a hero that you're gonna build for like basically one-shotting the PvP or one-shotting a specific wave in a dungeon. But I don't see Lester being like the ultimate carry that will basically destroy everything late game. On top of that, we also have Mu, who basically work, if I'm not mistaken, that's it, no? Yeah, when taking direct damage, there's a 40% chance to reduce the attacker's... If not, there's a... Yeah, so basically you can also... Mu is like a very, very cheap version of Melia, but I really think they would would work well together, because they both will get hit and they both will basically place a burn on the enemy or attack down. So I don't know, should you keep him? Most probably no, but I just wanted to mention him. So Lester for sure you should keep. Then we have Wolsey. I think Wolsey is an amazing hero if you're playing Walter. Why? Because basically Wolsey will do damage to all enemies and inflict poison, and they will also reduce blah blah blah. But whenever restores all allies HP by 18% of max HP each time Wolsey activates 1 attack target under poison status. So I really think Wolsey and Walter together are very good. On top of that, he also has a heal, so it's like a support poisoner stuff, and I think he will work amazingly well with Walter. And if you level up basically to his A1, the more poisons you're gonna put, the more healing everyone gonna get. So I think, yeah, here I would definitely keep Wolsey and Lester for sure. And then we go to the last one. So yeah, you gonna get Eden at the very beginning. Now, I would not feed her, obviously, if you don't have Liz or mages. She also gets kind of very good once you have 2 or 3 copies of her. Her leveling up her weapon is, honestly, I think the best enchant I saw in the game. Like, she gets so much by becoming level 3, so I would really not neglect her. However, if you have mages and Liz, I think Eden just goes behind, And then on top of that, after 7 days, you're gonna put space. So you're gonna have space, Liz, and mages. And I think all together, those 3 heroes are the best supports you can have in the game. And then you just throw 2 DPS heroes, and that's enough. So yeah, those two for me, food, and those two, depending on what you have, you should keep. So as you can see, guys, in total, there is really not a lot of heroes right now in the game that are good, or at least that were not tested. You need to understand that some of those heroes will only work in a very specific composition for a very specific content, and it's just too soon for us, for even for whales who will mostly focus on legendaries anyway. You won't see a lot of content from those heroes. Like, honestly, I'm telling you right now that I know those 3, for example, are food, because no one tested them, and it's not like we can really test them, because if someone goes and ace 5s this hero right now, he doesn't have any more regression, basically he wasted everything, and this hero might be garbage. So it's really hard to test heroes. I think we need to wait for the game to like people playing longer. So we start, like, for example, I finished my Melia A5, then I'm gonna finish my Walter, etc, etc, and maybe in a month or 2, you know, people gonna have the heroes they want in terms of legendaries, and they're gonna start building epics, and then we're gonna see new strategies, etc. But right now, at the beginning of the game, there's really not a lot of hero you should focus on. So like I said, 100% Lester, Wolsey, those 2 heroes, Holder, so you have 3 epics, Magis and Eden, so you have 5 epics, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think in total I would only recommend keeping at least 1 copy of 9 heroes. Obviously, Holder, you keep the most copies you can, and any other epic hero, right, guys, I think it's easy to say it's a food. It's just not worth to build them. Like, it just requires way too much resources that we simply don't have to build them. So again, guys, those are the epics you should build. If you have any questions or comments, please leave in the comments below. Again, the game is still new, we are still learning, there's still a lot of place of improvement, but so far from what we saw, Holder for sure is the only epic you should go to A5. Anything else in terms of supports like Mages, Liz, Eden, Wolsey, for now A1 is more than enough. I think to finish Hell campaign you need everyone minimum A3. But to go till Hell stage, to finish basically 1-1 in Hell stage, you just need one A5 hero like Holder or Melia that will carry you, and then 1 support A1. I think it's way more than enough. Believe me, I finished the campaign Hell. I mean, I'm almost like I'm chapter 4 in Hell. Now I started building my Walter, but I achieved chapter 4 in Hell stage just with Melia A5. Liz A1 and Mages A1. Now I also have space. I need to build her, push her a little bit higher, but other than that, you don't need more than that. So yeah, guys, that was a little video about the epics. You all requested to understand who's a food, who's not a food. So I gave you all the information we have right now. There is still a lot that we don't have. But yeah, for sure, if you have any questions or if you don't know if you can feed it or not, I hope the video helped you, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Enjoy.